What's up, YouTube? I've been gone for a long time, but here's the next project. Alright, we're back. Luckily I have a fully charged battery. Anytime I'm in the mood to shoot a video, they're always dead. Anyway, it's green, like a nice seafoam green, or almost a robin's egg blue green. So this is another Magnavox. The bigger trapezoid shaped one, like the tan one I overhauled for Bay. Let's take a look inside. Got rusty hardware, so it could have been stored in a damp environment, which might not be the best thing. So here's a closer look at the inside. Now, even though I have the other one of these trapezoid shaped models, the tan one I have is all transistor, which it boasts up here, but this one doesn't say all transistor, so I'm thinking it's an earlier vacuum tube model, which made me more attracted to it, apart from the nice green color I haven't seen before. But I feel like the Tolex material on here should hopefully clean up. In some cases I've been able to clean up the white by using some various bathroom cleaners with bleach in them. Like sometimes I've used Tilex and similar products, and I've gotten the white to really clean up and eliminate a lot of the staining. The solid state model I have also has a couple more potentiometer control knobs on it. So this one's only got loudness, balance, and tone controls, and the other one has treble and bass controls in its solid state. Now there's also other obvious signs of cosmetic damage, like there's damage to this grill cloth in here. Not sure how the other side looks. I think this side looks a little better. But we've got the 45 adapter. This looks to be in good shape still, probably still usable. I do have extras for my grandparents' console. The whole thing smells really musty, so could have been in a damp environment, sadly. I think the power cord seems intact. Insulation's stiff as they usually are, but as long as there's no deteriorating insulation with exposed copper, it should be good. So that seems decent. There's some kind of plasticky material on the platter here. Yeah, probably need to lubricate and clean the bearings inside. Idler tire might be hard, I'm not sure yet. I don't know what this plastic is on here. It's really just like a plastic film. I don't know if this was on here from the factory. But hopefully this rubber will clean up. I might still have an extra, well, I may or may not have an extra platter and platter mat. I think I might have sold just a changer at some point. So probably need some cleaning and lubrication for sure. Here's our tone arm. Tone arm rest is still good. It locks. Cartridge and stylus. Kind of stiff. There's like a broken wire down here. Have to look closely at this off camera and see where that needs to go. Might be like a ground or something, I don't know. Right, got my screwdriver. I definitely need to be careful with some of these screw heads because the screws are very rusty on top. So I want to be careful that these don't strip out. Alright. Yeah, that's a vacuum tube amplifier. So that's very cool. Try to show more close-ups. Interesting font with the Magnavox logo on this one. That's really cool. Focus, please. But yeah, I mean, a lot of the times these things are never worked on. They're just all original, which is cool. And we got the usual filter capacitor in this can here. Well, a series of filter capacitors. It's a multi-section. And then inside here should just be the other speaker. But we could take a look at the inside of this too, because I want to make sure the speakers are in good shape and that they're still going to be usable, and I don't need to put replacements in there because that would kill the whole historical value of this thing. And then the underside of the amplifier and the chassis we need to look at too, because there's probably other coupling capacitors I'll need to replace. Here's a look at the other side. It's kind of crumbling away. Anyway, the speaker seems to be intact, so that's good to see. A little bit of deterioration from the grill cloth there, but at least there's the metal panels in front of the grill cloth for added cosmetics, so you don't just have a obvious hole in there. So that's nice, but this thing definitely needs to air out. It's very musty. And then another trick for these Magnavoxes is there's just this little cup to store the 45 adapter into, so I can use this to hold the screws so they don't get lost. Sometimes these come out. This one's pretty stuck in there, but anyway, I can just pick up the screws and put them in here for safekeeping. So I was just taking a closer look at the tone arm, and it appears that this uses the older style of needles that clip to either side of the cartridge versus those double-sided styluses that have the LP in the 78 and 1. So I think I need to order 2 separate needles for this. Again, they just clip to either side of this whole cartridge assembly. The stylus itself is, or the cantilever I guess, is broken off of this part, and the other side is totally missing, so yeah, that's not exactly the same as other units I've worked on. Alright, now I've got my little 1/4-inch ratchet thing. Try to look in the amplifier. top view of the tube amp. The black RCA wire is on the left here. The right one is the green. So these just unplug. Then this little Molex looking connector should come out. One of these tubes already fell out. These are super cool. I don't want this getting damaged or lost. Tube made in Japan. 12AX7. I really love this old logo. It's just so cool. I don't know what the 206 means. There's another little logo next to the 12AX7. Almost looks a little bit like a Hitachi logo, but not quite. In the gray at the top there. That's just cool. And the taller tube here is typically a rectifier tube. Magnavox. Made in Japan. But there's 1, 2. So the one with the stripe went on the bottom. The solid green was on the top of this elliptical speaker. There's also a terminal strip here. So the green lead is on the right. And this other lead is on the left. So those are back here in the back. These are the speaker wires. And these need to come out. So that's red. Actually, I think this is yellow, not white. So red, yellow, and black next to this filter can. Alright, so I just got a small flathead. Pried it either side of this connector. Got that out. And now the whole amplifier is free from the unit. So now we can take a closer look at this. See if there's any date codes. And then take this cover shielding plate off and look inside the amp. Also want to look at the outside of the filter can to see what cap values are in here. Wow, this is crazy. I don't know if this thing was opened up and worked on in the past or what, but down in here I found remnants of an old cartridge. There's really nothing left of it, but that's kind of weird. LP 78. .202. I don't know how this got in there. If it had prior repairs in the past, or if it's foreign object debris from the factory, or what. That's funny though. So looks like there's 3 wires going to this with little spade connectors, so I imagine this is the same. And then maybe I can determine where that broken wire is supposed to go. This is probably the rest of it, or another piece. I don't know what else is in here. Goodness. Anyway, let's see if we can crack open this amp. This cover comes off. And here's the amp. So it's got, I think it's just got one paper and oil cap, and then there's another coupling cap in here that should probably get replaced. Not sure what component this is here. It's like something ceramic. I don't know what that is. Looks like 843 or B43 2446142. I don't know what that is. And then our filter can up top is hard to read. 20 microfarad. I think the next one's 80 microfarad and 120. All at 150 volts. DC, it looks like. And then it's got the different shapes. I think it's just a triangle, a square, and nothing. So the square goes to the 120 microfarad section, the triangle goes to the 80 microfarad section, and the 20 microfarad has no shape. There's a triangle on the left there. Square at the bottom. And then there's a common. Common might just be the whole outside or something. Almost like a case ground, or just ground in general, or chassis ground, I should say. And then, you know, I want to clean these pots with the oxit, obviously. Overall, the circuit seems reasonably simple. It's just a matter of putting some modern electrolytic capacitors in place of this filter can. Yeah, typically I have to hot glue some modern electrolytic caps in here and then route those leads to the wires and other components that connect it to each of these solder lugs, pretty much. So it's kind of easier said than done. So that's basically what I do to restore these electrically. Now the platter mat, these are usually not too difficult to take off. Hopefully this isn't deteriorated. Seems like the rubber's supple enough. It's just old. So those three little nubbies and then the holes in here. Then we just need to take out a C-clip or an E-clip in here. And then the platter should lift off. Alright, sorry for the furnace noise, it's winter. Let's see if I can get this E-clip off. Ow, what the hell was that? Ow! It's like almost bleeding. I don't know what the heck that was, look at. Here's the E-clip anyway, I'll put that in this little cup. That lifts off easily. Then, well, I think there's usually a washer up in here that goes in the top. So this black washer goes in first. And then this metal one goes on top like that. And then this whole thing sits on top of the bearing when the platter goes down on there. Might be it, just these two. I don't know. And then the bearing is down in there. So that's just a typical spindle platter bearing. Kind of difficult to lift out. So that bearing comes out. And then I think there's a washer at the bottom. So that washer. And then another set of bearings at the very bottom. So that's at the very bottom with the smaller, well, it's not a bearing, it's just like a little bearing seat sort of piece. So yeah, that's at the very bottom, and then that should be it. And that's got all the old grease in there. Now here's our idler tire. That's like hard as a rock. I mean, I can try some rubber renew on it, but I don't know. Here's the motor spindle. I've never actually bought a replacement idler tire for one of these, so I don't know if they're obtainable or not. Well, this camera battery's almost dead, so that's pretty much going to wrap it up for the unboxing, first impressions, and initial teardown. I finally got out whatever the hell that was. Had to use my microscope and tweezers, but that hurt like crazy. I think in the part 2 video, maybe we'll try to clean this up cosmetically, if possible. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Stay tuned for more, and thanks for watching.